Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the Back to Formula podcast, where we continue our sped boy talk, pretty much about whatever we feel like. However, this time it's a little different. We actually have a full lineup, believe it or not. So we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. Again, I'm Christian.
I'm Jordan.
It's your boy V3, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
this motherfucker finally showed up after, I guess he decided to call it early and not fucking party quite yet. But we finally got this fuck on the goddamn podcast, so say we get it popping.
Yeah, doing a lot of complaining about your last episode, so glad you finally listened and took our constructive criticism.
Y'all just called me a good time, because I'm going to be on the booty later.
Well, the funny thing is that this was supposed to be the original lineup, but we didn't want to fucking halt production for this clown right here. So me and Christian just decided to do our first episode. Now that we got this jackass on, it should be pretty fun.
So before we start, Vernon, what do you have to say for yourself for not being here last time?
Like I said, y'all just caught me at a good time right now, because later I'm going to be on the booty.
We don't care. I don't think our audience cares either. All right, but anyway, let's go ahead and get it popping. We got some stuff that we want to talk about today. Obviously, we're recording a podcast.
You don't say, huh?
Yeah. So first thing we're gonna go ahead and talk about is this janky ass Saw franchise reboot from Chris Rock.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I feel about this because the last few Saws have been a complete joke. Jigsaw was like hilarious. I'm gonna let Christian talk about what he thought about Jigsaw, but I ain't feeling this at all.
Yeah, it's weird because I guess you can say I'm a fan. I don't know. I have all the Saw movies. I remember I let you borrow them, Jordan, because you haven't really seen all of them, and so I let you snag them. But I bought all of them because I just think they're really entertaining. Even the really bad ones, you can kind of sit there and at least just enjoy. If you're into like torture porn, I guess. I'm not really a fan of that phrase, but a lot of people know it as torture porn. But yeah, I mean, to some extent, I always feel like some people who like action movies and things like that, you call that like action porn. So I'm like, I don't know, it's a weird phrase, but that's besides the point. I like the movies. They obviously start to simmer down after the third one. I think that's kind of where it goes downhill, and it just gets completely absurd. The storyline just goes off the rails, and it's insane. You can't even follow shit. You need to like take notes and like take a college class to really understand this whole story, which is stupid. So when I heard they were making Jigsaw, I was pretty excited because they were talking about how they were going to reboot this whole movie. Not really a reboot, it's like a soft reboot, but it's going to be a new direction. The filmmakers realized it was kind of getting stale. It was the same movie every single time. So they're like, all right, let's do this and let's make it a new thing. And I'm like, okay, maybe they'll take it a little bit more seriously. Maybe they'll try to stop making the stupid convoluted storyline. And God, it was the same thing. I saw that in theaters and I was upset starting with 10 minutes in. It was the most terrible experience I've had in a theater probably that whole year. And I pretty much wanted to leave the whole time. So I can't say I'm a fan of that at all. But I guess we can get into detail for that, but first I want to know what Vernon thinks of that movie, unless he already saw it. Or didn't see it. Shit. Alright, I'll let you set up. First, before I go into that, Vernon, have you seen the movie?
I'm dead as fuck. Hold on, let me talk about the whole Chris Rock shit. That's fucking crazy. I don't understand. I mean, I've never seen him do anything outside of comedy. Like, do you guys know anything that is outside of comedy?
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, I can look something up right now and just try to see, but shit, kind of right. I really don't think so.
Nah, I mean, he's one of those guys.
New Jack City. That was a serious movie, but everything else has been comedy from him. You're right.
And Everybody Hates Chris doesn't count, right?
No, of course not.
Oh shit, I'm weak. But yeah, so like, I don't know, this is really weird. I don't understand like where he's gonna take this whole thing. But then again, I guess people probably felt the same way about nigga from Key and Peele. Help me out here. What's homie's name?
Jordan Peele.
Yeah. But I'm sure people kind of felt the same way about him when he branched off into different stuff. So it could be cool.
Here, I got an article that I want to read real quick. It says, Chris wants to put his own spin on the Saw franchise in the way Eddie Murphy put a completely fresh perspective on buddy cop films of 48 Hours. This new Saw is going to be an event film in the making for horror fans. It will have all the twists and turns and hardcore layers that our fans expect, directed by one of the masters of the craft, Darren Lynn Bousman. We can't wait to get started. Whatever the fuck that means. So, I mean, I don't understand how he's going to reinvent Saw. Like you said, it's going to be probably torture porn, but I don't know. Maybe it'll actually be good. Who fucking knows?
I did such descriptive work, like an event film. It says everything about it.
I did want to make fun of you, Christian, though, because you took a fat ass L seeing Jigsaw in theaters because that movie sucked. And in addition to that, everyone else who willingly saw all these Saw movies, including Jigsaw, and paid their $8 admission to go and see them in theaters, took a fat ass L as well. Because
I agree with you.
you couldn't pay me to see that fucking movie. Oh man, hell no.
After the first three, yeah, I completely agree.
And honestly, one of my theories, and you and me we were talking about this like weeks ago, is that I'm thinking like they're gonna come out with a Saw 2049, right? And then like the plot twist to that movie is gonna be that Jigsaw was never dead. It's like his brain was preserved, and they put him in a robot, and that all along has been his protege. And the protege before that was the one that put his brain inside that robot, so his legacy could be carried on throughout the future. I'm telling you, man, that's gonna be
Yeah, because it's already been a twist that they've done in other movies. Because in like 6 other movies, they're like he's dead, and then you find another one. No, he's not really dead. You just thought he was dead, and then later he actually dies. And then the big twist is, oh, he has another apprentice. Oh no, but you didn't know he had another apprentice. Oh no, wait, he had another apprentice that was helping out the other apprentice. Da-na-na, da-na-na, da-na-na.
No, dude.
So I totally see that happening. Yeah.
Hold on, I need you to like go into why you hated Jigsaw because the way you explained it was fucking hilarious.
Vern, have you seen this movie?
Jigsaw?
Yes.
No, puzzle
Yes, nigga,
piece.
Yes, nigga, I've seen. Yes, nigga, I've seen Jigsaw.
All right. So again, was hopeful for this quote unquote new direction. Anyways, so seeing the movie, you don't really know what you're getting into. It starts off pretty much the same. You know, there's people starting off in a trap and wondering what the hell's going on. That's nothing new. I mean, obviously, this is all the other movies as well. And when it actually gets deeper into the story, just really going by this fast, you start to realize that these people that you're watching aren't actually current time. It's a different timeline that you're watching. And the reason that they're being punished, it used to be this whole ideology of these people don't appreciate their lives. We're going to make them appreciate their lives. So you start seeing reasons of how these people got to the point of where they're being tortured, where they're being put in these games. And then you start seeing like these little stories that just make no sense as to how Jigsaw would have seen this and how everybody would have known what happened here. My favorite one was there's this wife who has a kid with and then all of a sudden she realizes that the kid's dead. And what they end up doing was she frames the husband. She puts the baby next to him and like makes it look like he smothered her by rolling over. It's like, how did anyone know that? You don't see anybody around. This is in their own home. This is doing a flashback. So this flashback is supposed to imply this is why he's putting her in this trap. But then you start to think, where is he? What's going on here? So, and then you go to the next one. It's on something very similar. The stupid college guy. I barely remember. It's been so long. I haven't wanted to see it since. But correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan. You saw it later. This guy's like getting shit faced, right? He's like in driving, and all of a sudden, like these 2 kids are driving, and they crash into another car, and for some reason, it instantly explodes because they're drunk. And again, nobody's around for that, right? Is it something like that happened?
Yeah,
God, it's so stupid.
I think so. Oh, what
And
I
then it's
remembered you saying was like hilarious to me was the fact that like how would Jigsaw know that that's what she did to her husband? Like you're like, what is he, God? Like how the fuck would he have known that?
That's a big thing. So you know, when you see all these things play out, it's like, where is Jigsaw? Has he passed from just a human entity? Now he's just this mystical being. He's fucking God now. He can just see all. He's Santa Claus. You don't do anything wrong. This is just a Santa story, but instead of being put on a naughty list, you get a fucking Jigsaw game. It's so stupid. It makes no sense. And I literally was pissed the whole time watching that movie, and I just wanted to walk out. So now I'm hearing that. I thought it was dead. Oh, what?
I was gonna say, don't forget the fucking laser contraption at the end of the movie.
Oh, God. I see, that's so insignificant. Like, what's the point of that? You know? When you see that, you're like, oh, cool. Okay, this guy got his fucking head split open 8 different ways by a laser. Oh, cool. Nice. And, you know, I saw that. I was pretty disappointed, but then I heard it didn't really do what they wanted it to do, so they were going to stop the franchise. Okay, cool, I'm happy. It's dead. Just fucking bury it, right? And now you hear this clown Chris Rock is going to try to resurrect it. And yeah, you know, we don't know what's happening. This movie could be great, but this just sounds completely absurd. And it's like, next they're going to have like another Thing movie done by Carlos Mencia or something. I don't get this shit.
Not that. No.
Don't disrespect the thing like that. Now, the second funniest thing about this whole Saw shit, before we move on, is Samuel Jackson is apparently supposed to be his dad in this reboot. So I don't know how that's going to play out. Maybe Samuel Jackson's the cop, and maybe Chris Rock is the guy missing and being tested by Jigsaw. I could just see Chris Rock just like freaking the fuck out looking at that puppet come in on a fucking trikey. Like I could just totally see him doing it. Because it sounds like he's supposed to be starring in it, but I don't know, man. Due to Saw's most recent track record, it's just going down the shitter.
You know what? It's just, you gotta wait. You gotta wait till Samuel Jackson gets his arm cut off or his leg cut off or something. He's gonna be like, ah!
Or like when he fell over in glass.
That shit was so good.
Spoiler
Oh
alert for
man.
anybody who hasn't seen Glass. You know what? I'm gonna go off on a tangent. We should actually discuss M Night movies like one of these days.
Oh yeah,
I think we'll get a
that'd be a good
riot
one.
out of that. Yeah, Vernon over here dick
Yeah, but you
rides
gotta
M Night
actually watch all
Shyamalan.
of them. Though. Like, you gotta watch Lady in the
Whoa,
Water.
nigga, no.
Come on, you give him a little bit more credit than what you should be giving him. You know that.
How? Because I like splitting glass.
I
That's
think
not
I
enough,
remember
Vern. You need to
you.
see his shit movies.
Yeah,
No,
dude,
no, no,
you need
no.
to watch
He
his other
says
movies.
he said I dick ride him, and I said like, how do I dick ride him? I only like 2 of his movies.
Well, have you seen the other ones and acknowledge that he's not always a good filmmaker?
I mean, that's what I hear about him.
This is what you hear, but you haven't
Damn.
watched the movies. Exactly.
I don't care enough to watch the nigga shit. It's not that good. It don't like draw my attention like that.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's James Wan, right, or The Conjuring.
No, hey, I fuck with James Wan. James Wan's cool. The
Yeah, I know you
Conjuring
Yeah,
do.
is
fuck with
cool
Jay.
too.
Aquaman,
That nigga's
though.
cool. The visuals,
Aquaman.
man.
He gave us Aquaman. I
Yeah, he
got
did.
to
He
thank him
great.
for that.
Yeah,
You're right.
damn
I
Yeah,
sure.
he
do. I
also
need to
gave us
thank him.
Fast 7, which is better than all of his movies combined, but you guys haven't seen it. Because you don't like Fast and Furious, because you're not real movie lovers.
Fast and Furious is ass. I don't want to hear anything about that shit.
Fuck
Yeah, I
that
know it
shit.
is. Nah,
That
it is.
franchise just needs to fucking die.
Hey,
It needs
aren't
to
you guys
just.
excited for fucking Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh yeah, dude. Idris Elba. How's his shot looks horrible.
All right, I'm gonna need a pause for that.
Also,
Pause for
what?
that.
Oh yeah, dude. It was just ever like nah. I just sounded kind of fruity, bro.
Nah, dude. He's that nigga. He's that dude.
all right, all
So you're
right.
actually a great underrated actor.
He
No,
is an
no,
underrated
okay.
actor.
No. He's a good actor, but I'm saying like the way homie said his name, I'm like nah, bro. I'm not with
Nah, I
that.
am.
He said
He's
that
that
was
dude. I don't care what
sus.
anybody says.
All right. Pop it out.
All right, moving
Pop
on.
it out.
Moving on. I think we can all agree. I think we all can agree that the Saw franchise reboot is a shit idea. Now we're going to be moving on to our next topic of Disney quote unquote live action remakes. So, as I'm sure you guys are familiar, Aladdin just came out, Lion
I
King
had
just
no
came
idea.
out. Lion King just came out, and then now I guess Little Mermaid is like the next thing. But we're gonna talk about that in a second. What do you guys think about these whole live action remakes? Because to me, it's just a cop for money, in my opinion.
That's what it always is. Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, like I can understand. I mean, with us, we got the OG or animated movies. I get that, but it's just kind of like there's a new generation. Okay, they're gonna remake them. There's a chance to make more money. But my thing is like you can't really spin a live action Lion King and call it live action if all of it's done CGI. um, I know that sounds stupid because like, what are they gonna do? Go out in the wild and film animals and do all that? No. But to me, it's just like a waste of time, in my opinion. And I actually heard Beyonce talk. I don't know who the fuck she plays. Was it Nala? Is who she's supposed to be playing or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah, it sounded like she was reading from a book. It like the voice acting did not sound good at all.
I've heard that too.
I know Vernon saw it opening night.
Same thing.
Nah, I actually didn't. But to answer your larger question, I actually like the remakes and shit like that. I don't know. I think it's cool to like the nostalgia is dope, and I like the live action aspect, and or as close to live action as you can get with the whole Lion King thing. I thought Aladdin was cool. I don't approve at all of the whole like um cast in different races or whatever than what they originally were in the like the older movies shit like that. I don't know. When niggas try too hard not to be racist, you just come off racist. And I just think it's really unnecessary. Like it's stupid. No one
I
cares.
guess.
No, I definitely agree, and that melds into our second point of this conversation.
Well, actually, before we do that,
Okay.
I'll keep you saying I agree. But what I was going to say was I'm actually kind of between both of you guys because when it comes to it, I feel like if you really ask yourself why is Disney doing this, obviously it's money. There's not even a question. It's
Yeah.
money. Like, do you think they're looking to make these movies artistically just for the sake of the art? No, they're not. I think what they're seeing is there's a new generation, like you pointed out, and some of these new generations they haven't seen these original OG animated movies, but they know what Disney is because fucking Disney owns everything. They own everything except fucking air we breathe. So they know Disney, so they're gonna go ahead and see if they can cash in on these movies. And I don't feel like it's with malicious intent. I think their goal was to try and make solid movies out of it, which is kind of where I see Vernon's point because I've seen a lot of them. I haven't seen Aladdin or Lion King because those are new. But I remember going to see Jon Favreau's Jungle Book when it came out, and I didn't hate it. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the animated one, so maybe that's why. But I thought it was fine. It was all right. I mean, there was some kind of campy acting here and there. I mean, the kid actor did a pretty okay job. But
He did an
then,
amazing
you see
job.
Beauty and the Beast. I think he did okay.
No,
I
the
don't
kid
know.
did an amazing.
I mean, you can,
did you
This
see
is the
like
same. This is the same guy who did like
What?
Hereditary or enjoy Tony Collette's performance in that movie.
no.
But
But
anyway,
look. You do know that you do realize that kid was literally talking to nobody the entire movie.
Yeah, it was all filmed green screen studio. Yeah, but I
Right. So
mean,
he's
he's a
literally
kid
doing
actor.
everything on his own, like his imagination. Like there's like no person with him or whatever necessarily. Like he's just doing shit. Like it's just crazy.
you really think that's like that hard to
Right,
do?
which is why I thought he was all right. Usually kid actors are
What?
terrible, but he was all right.
So then
Yeah, so I'm giving him props.
that's fucked up. That nigga deserves more love
That's
than
fucked
Bro.
up.
Well, anyway, you, you can go into that a little bit after. But the point was, I do see that they're trying to do something with these. I don't think they're intentionally making terrible movies just to try to cash in a dollar. So sometimes they turn out pretty all right. And I can see why people don't like them, and I can see why people do like them. It's interesting. I feel like they probably should stop this trend after a bit because they're just going to go through their whole catalog, and there's just going to be this whole generation of like remade movies, live action. And I don't know if they're going to age too well, to be honest. I think that they might age not as great. It's like maybe 10, 20 years later, but I don't hate Disney. I don't love them as much as like everyone else who loves Disney does, but that's kind of where it is with that. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I can understand you both.
It's fair. I can see where you're coming from. Yeah, so back to what Vernon was saying before Christian, explained his side of how he looks at it. Casting choices. Like Vernon was saying, I personally believe like when a character is written an original way, they should stay that way. I'm all for different interpretations of a character. In all honesty, the only two characters that I've seen work with a black or a white, you know, style to them is Nick Fury and Kingpin. Those are the only two characters that I've ever seen that are interchangeable and it works both ways. Like when you try like way too hard, like Vernon was saying, to appeal to a certain demographic, you're like, we're gonna make her black because that's just what we want to do, god damn it. To me, you're trying like way too hard. And I think personally, you should be able to create new characters. Look at The Princess Bride. That was a brand new character. You look at Moana, brand new character. It worked. Why? Because it was an original character. To me, like just changing races for the sake of changing them is just trying a little too hard, in my opinion. It's panhandling.
I
facts.
agree with Vernon a lot. What he said earlier. Vernon said, people try really hard to make it seem like I'm not racist. Like, look at me, I'm so not racist. It just comes off the complete opposite way. So I see that too.
No, I agree. And, it goes back to like, do we make Peter Parker black? Like, no. Keep him white and make an original character. Look at Miles Morales, black and Puerto Rican, brand new Spider-Man. I'm with it. Like, I'm okay with that. Do we need to make T'Challa black? Do we need to make him I'm sorry. Do we need to make T'Challa white? Do we need to make him South African?
Like, yeah,
No.
we need to make him
I was
black.
about to say, yeah, that one.
Yeah. We need to make him black, but do we need to make him South African or turn T'Challa into a white guy? No. There's just no need for it. So
and
to me,
like,
it's just
and like, I was gonna say, like, the audience know these characters. Like, we know for the most part, where they come from and who they are and stuff like that. So like, you're not doing anything wrong by keeping the shit how it was. Like, there's literally no reason to change anything. Like, it's just childish. It's silly. I don't get it.
yeah. And what's also funny about that too is like it's hypocritical because like I'm going to talk about Scarlett Johansson right now.
Ooh.
Yeah, keep it in your pants, dude. Anyway, she got so much shit for being casted in The Ghost in the Shell, and I don't even really know why. Like, yeah, that main character is written as an Asian person, whatever. But and I've never watched Ghost in the Shell. I've never seen the movie, but to me, it wasn't like that bad of a casting choice. They also were giving her shit for being casted as a transvestite for a movie. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, well, she's not a transvestite, so she shouldn't be playing the part. But at the end of the day, she's an actress. That's what she gets paid to do.
Right.
It's like saying,
Mhm.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger. Well, they're not actual homosexuals, so they can't be playing in Brokeback Mountain. Like, no,
Them niggas
like
shouldn't have did
that's
that.
like no.
Is their job not
That's
to
their
act?
job. Is their
Not
job
to
not to
pretend?
act? Exactly. Like that is their whole job as a fucking actor. And to give those people shit for literally just doing their jobs is just silly to me. It makes no sense.
Before I forget, you were talking about Ghost in the Shell, and the funny thing about that, I didn't have a problem with that casting at all because they were really the way they were going about it was they were going off based on acting ability, and they thought that she'd be a good fit. And she actually looks pretty close enough to the character itself. Obviously, she's not Asian, but you can actually find this video on YouTube where it's some people documenting the actual country where the manga is based off of, and also the movie as well, the animated movie. And they're asking random people on the street who are fans of the animated movie how they feel about Scarlett Johansson playing the live action, and none of them had any problems with it. They're like, "Oh, she's a beautiful actress. If she does plays the part, it looks good." They're like, "Oh, she looks good." Like they actually showed her how she was trying to portray the character, and nobody had any issues. The people who had issues was here in the U.S. saying, "Oh, that's so disrespectful. How are they going to do that? They should have just casted someone who's Asian."
Yeah,
They just
see,
try to be offended for everybody else. It
See, and
makes no
that's the
sense.
problem with our society now is everybody's got to be offended for somebody. Like it doesn't even matter like what the topic is. Like you know
Oh
what? You're not
God.
offended about this. You're not offended about this. Well, I'm offended about it for you. Let's get everybody riled up about this. Like that's literally how the United States and society is now. It sucks because I mean, if this shit were to happen, 10 years ago, no one would say anything. But everybody's just sensitive. I don't get it.
As fuck.
Yeah. So it's unfortunately a case of everybody wanting to be offended for other people when it's not necessary, causing outrage. Everybody loves outrage these days. And it's just the way it has to be, unfortunately, for a bit. But besides that, we'll go ahead and get into our other point here, which is going to be our anticipated movies that we're looking forward to for the end of 2019 and maybe beginning of 2020. I know one of the first things I am looking forward to is going to be It Chapter 2. Seems like that movie came out not that long ago, and now we're getting the sequel, so that's kind of interesting. So far the trailers have been surprisingly better than I thought they would be. Not like I expected the movie to be shit, but the trailers are actually like cut together pretty great. Makes it seem like it's actually going to have some scary shit happen. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I never watched the original Chapter Two, so I don't really know what to expect. But I'm excited to see my boy James McAvoy in there. I know Vernon's been dig riding these trailers for the last couple of weeks.
Leaks, nigga. The new one just came out like a couple days ago. What you mean leaks?
Well, the first one came out weeks.
He said trailers with an S, nigga, not trailer. But anyway, nah. So both trailers, I felt like the cold as fuck. The old lady in the crib, and then the way that he was like,
That was scary.
she was like naked in the background, like doing all the weird motions and shit that they could be doing. Bill Skarsgård again is amazing. That's crazy. That's super crazy. But nah, I'm hella excited for It Chapter 2. It's about the homie said bring your adult diapers because he said he really gonna put some scary shit into this one. So like I'm all the way with it, and I just man, I don't know. I see that trailer, especially the second one. I get goosebumps, man. I'm ready to go. It's just cold.
Yeah, I agree. It does look pretty good. I mean, first one came out like I don't know 2 years ago, so I mean we are due for a sequel, but it's not. But you're right; those 2 years did go by pretty quick, Christian. I mean that first movie, Chapter One, was great, but yeah. I mean, I'm also looking forward. What else is coming out? Was it Doctor Sleep, the sequel to The Shining? That should be good. I'm kind of hoping we see like a Jack Nicholson appearance. That'll be dope. Um, Crawl, I do want to see Crawl, that alligator thriller. I know it
Interesting.
just came out. Like, what do you say?
So interesting.
And then I also want to see Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark because those books were actually cool. Reading them as a kid and to kind of see them come up on the big screen, that's actually really cool to see as well. A lot of the movies that I was looking forward to have already like pretty much came out. Like I was more excited for like Avengers and Godzilla for this year, and that's already happened. So, I mean, there's also Tarantino. Since me and Christian like Tarantino so much, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that comes
On
out
Time
later
in
this month.
Hollywood, yeah.
Fuck. The
Have
other one
fun,
was
nigga.
like, dude, do you not fuck with Tarantino? Like, what's wrong with you?
That movie does not look interesting in the slightest to me.
Oh wow.
You're crazy, dude. It's fucking Tarantino. Like, are you
Yeah,
serious?
I don't know
I'll be
what else to
crazy then, I
say.
guess. I'll be crazy. I'm good with it.
Yeah, you stay crazy and miss out on cinematic glory. Anyway, what was the other movie? There was another movie that. Oh yeah, Ad Astra. Have you guys heard about Ad Astra?
Nigga, who's ass?
Jesus Christ. Basically, it's about Brad Pitt who goes into space. I guess he goes after his dad, and I guess his dad gets lost in space doing some fuck shit. And I guess his
Oh,
dad was
yeah.
experimenting on some stuff that is detrimental to the human race. So I feel like it's kind of got some kind of like interstellar vibes to it, but that's all I got from the synopsis. Apparently there's a trailer out, but I haven't heard too much else about it or seen the trailer. Is there anything else you're looking forward to, Christian? Because I think me and Vernon pretty much just kind of said everything that we're looking forward to, and
I was gonna go over a few more, and you kind of covered a lot of
my
them. I
bad.
forgot about. No, it's all right. It's all right. I was gonna go over Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark because I also was a fan of the books growing up. I read them a lot in elementary school, and they were both very creepy and also interesting. Like I got scared, but I couldn't stop reading them. They were just good shit. And based on the little teaser, I don't know if you saw that. We got a little teaser. It just seemed really cool. I mean, we'll see how the whole movie turns out, but Guillermo del Toro usually does a good job with horror for the most part, from what I've seen. And to be honest, the only one I'm really looking forward to next, and I don't think this is a surprise, but obviously I'm looking forward to The Rise of Skywalker. Probably most anticipated on top of Endgame for
Oh
me. So as
yeah,
soon as we
I
get that,
forgot.
yeah, I'll be good to go for that one. But other than that, I mean, smaller ones. That's my main one for now. I'm gonna be excited for that regardless. But I really do want to see Crawl. I think it's cool whenever we get a big budget Hollywood just creature feature where you have just a simple story. There's a monster, escape it, try to survive. not anything too complicated. There's always a time to watch something like that. But other than that, I don't know, not really much I can say that really grabs my attention too much. I'll pretty much watch whatever looks interesting, but not something I could say is anticipated for now.
I would agree. I'm actually taking a look at some listings for movies coming out. Apparently, there's another 47 meters that's coming out, or 47 meters down. Wasn't
Was that a sequel or was that like a re-release? I wasn't
no,
sure.
they're having
It's a sequel.
It's a sequel. It's a
It's not
sequel.
related to the first. Though.
It's not. Yeah, the first movie was them in the ocean, like with normal sharks, but this one it's like obviously they're underwater again, but it's like I think it's some kind of like island territory, like the water's like more murkier and shit and something like that.
It is, yeah.
But honestly, I wasn't a fan of 47 meters down. I thought it was boring as shit.
I thought it was boring too.
Did not fuck
do you know
with
any?
it at
Do you know
all.
anyone that was a fan?
Yeah, actually, well, yeah, one of my former coworkers actually liked 47 meters down. She was the one telling me to watch it.
Oh,
And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And then I watched it.
I did hear it was good, yeah, from a few people.
Yeah, I did not fuck with it like at all. So
I heard that from one person.
And then apparently,
reason.
apparently there's a new Rambo coming out.
I'm good.
I'm actually looking forward to that. I fucking Rambo.
I'm kind of sick of Sylvester Stallone. You gotta fight the alien. Fuck that nigga. Anyway, and then I'm seeing here Joker. Okay, I want to talk about this real quick. DC, they have been starting to redeem themselves. They redeemed themselves with Aquaman. They redeemed themselves with Shazam. But this Joker movie, I'm not fucking with because they literally came out with a statement that said this is not based off of the actual Joker from DC Comics.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
That's not Joker then.
It's not Joker then, exactly. Like, what the fuck is the point of making this movie if you're not gonna base it off of Joker?
So basically, shit wisecracker or fucking clown.
I don't clown, man. I don't fucking know. Joaquin Phoenix and clown makeup, like that's all it is.
That's crazy.
One movie. There is no point. It's like they made one step forward and they're taking 3 steps back. Is literally what they're doing.
Here they go shit in the bed again.
Yep, exactly. Gemini Man actually looks pretty decent. It's about Will Smith. Was he like an assassin or something? And like his younger self comes back to try to kill him or some shit like that. That movie actually does look cool.
Didn't know about.
Oh yes, the clone. You're right. Can't remember if it was like some time travel shit or not. Chris, you fucking with that movie at all?
You know, it looks really cool. Sometimes I like angling movies, sometimes I don't, but I'll see it. I think it's cool. I don't know. I get this feeling that it looks really neat, but when you actually watch the movie, the plot might be cool, but the execution might suck. I'm hoping I'm wrong though, because if it's cool, I think it could be a really good movie.
I mean, he did fuck the Hulk up. He did make the 2004 Hulk, right? Ang Lee.
Yeah, he did. And I'm not a fan of that at all when it comes to execution.
Next that I see here in October, we got Zombie.
Hey, real quick.
Oh, what?
Will Smith, that's the man. I'll support that. I'm gonna definitely see that.
I don't know, man. Like he was in some better movies when he was like younger and a few years ago, and he's just starting to go downhill with some movies. But I mean, overall, I do fuck with him.
The man was amazing in Aladdin. He stole the fucking show in Aladdin.
I've heard that actually. He's like the best part of the movie.
He was by far the best part of the movie.
Interesting.
Okay. Will is crazy.
I'll take your word for it. Zombieland Double Tap is coming out. What?
Oh, sorry. No, we'll go back to Zombieland. You finished there, but I was going to ask you really quick. You guys are forgetting there's going to be the Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Get that shit out of here. Yeah, get that shit out of here.
Can't wait.
Dora.
There's no map. There's no backpack. Like what the fuck? I wouldn't go for it. I ain't seen no Swipe with a Fox.
Which is going to be there's going to be a CGI monkey that doesn't talk.
It's basically going to be. It's basically going to be like Indiana Jones from what I'm
live
hearing.
action.
Yeah, no, it's Indiana Jones. That's basically what it is. You're right.
Sort of
Indiana Jones.
You can catch me away from that theater when it comes out. Anyway, for the third time, Zombieland Double Tap is coming out. I'm actually stoked for this. Yeah, third time. I'm actually stoked for Zombieland 2. I actually rewatched Zombieland like a couple months ago, and then I didn't really fuck with it when I was younger, but like now I do, and I'm like excited for the new one. Have you guys seen it?
No. None of the promotional stuff for it seemed interesting to me, so I never watched it.
Okay, give it a watch. It's on Netflix. Okay.
Not too bad. That was pretty alright. Actually, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Because I do was saying the promotional stuff wasn't too strong, so don't really blame him there.
And then I've already kind of talked about Dr. Sleep earlier. Terminator Dark Fate. I'm not really fucking with this because I feel like they're starting to pull a Fast and Furious with these movies. They're just kind of like retconning and going back and forth with shit.
People can do that now. It's kind of interesting because before, when you had a shitty sequel, you just kind of had to work with it, right? because you can't really
Mm.
convince a whole audience that if they've seen that movie, it's not valid. But now with these days and the internet and like canon that you can read that's official, filmmakers and studios they can just do that shit now. If they have a shitty sequel or they don't like where it's going, oh, that one doesn't exist. And for people who like that one, well, you just like a make believe story. It's not part of the real story, so fuck you. And they can just restart. And even though I don't hate that concept, I actually think it's kind of cool. But with this one, I was excited at first, but I saw the trailer. That trailer sucked. I think it looks bad.
Dude,
I don't know what they're
like
gonna do with
it's just
that.
a hot mess, man. Like the timeline is just fucked. Like it makes like no
Yeah.
sense. Like Genesis was bad. Vernon, did you see Genesis?
I don't watch none of them things since it's been a long ass time since I
Judgment
watched
Day
some of them.
or
Actually.
Salvation?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think I'm. Oh shit, I might have seen Salvation. Judgment Day for sure, but I might have seen Salvation.
Okay, yeah. Honestly,
Like, see,
Salvation
I
was
can't
probably
remember them like
the last good one. And that was the one with
I
Christian
don't even
Bale.
like. I don't know. I just don't. I'm not into them like that. Like I can't even
Okay,
remember the
fair,
ones I saw. Like that's how uninto it I am. I guess.
fair enough. And then we got Cats. You guys gonna go see that?
We got what? Excuse me.
Cats. Have you seen the Cats trailer?
Oh hell no.
Yo, Cats looks like straight cat shit. I had no idea. That looked so bad. It looked awkward,
Like
and
who the fuck greenlit this shit, man? Like,
I thought it was a
goddamn.
good idea. Well, it's based on like it's this kind of like Broadway
Yeah, it's
play,
off of a
isn't it?
Broadway
Or like
musical.
everybody,
Yep.
yeah. And I get that, sure, but when you see the movie, dude, it just comes off like a weird furry's fantasy. Oh, it's so
Yeah.
weird.
It's odd,
It's
man.
so odd.
It looks horrible. I think Taylor Swift's supposed to be in it. Idris
That'll
Elba's
help.
actually in it too.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's that's sad for him.
This guy stays
Yeah,
picking roles that like just aren't that good for him.
Facts. He's crazy.
hey, give Heimdall some credit where credit's due, okay?
Now,
Um,
if he breaking Taylor Swift off, then I mean I guess that's alright. But if not,
Dude, chill
Wow.
the fuck out, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so you'll see a cat body fucking Taylor Swift with Idris Elba. You go see it, huh? You pay money to watch that?
No, I'm saying that's all right for him if that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's actually like tapping that, then okay. But if
Nah.
not, then why? Like why are you there? Why?
I don't know. Maybe
Unless
he's
you can
passionate
do-
about the fucking script. He is an actor.
That's trash, nigga. I want to hear that.
All right. Anyway, so those are the rest of the movies for this year. Again, not really a whole lot. And Christian, you've already touched base on erection of the Skywalker, so you already talked about that. I guess the next thing to really talk about is Phase 4 of the MCU, since that got announced today. Honestly, I think it's a pretty strong list. The only thing that I'm looking forward to is probably Black Widow, Blade, Hawkeye, and I'm digging the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and only because I
What the
went back
fuck?
and reread. No, listen to me. I've actually read some runs that Sam Wilson as Captain America, and it's honestly actually pretty good. It's not bad at all.
I get it when it comes to comics. For me, I'm not super excited for the show, just because I'm not sure that that's exactly what they're going to follow. And based on the portrayal for Falcon and Winter Soldier, just in the MCU alone, it doesn't seem like the most catching thing to watch. I would love Winter Soldier. I think he started off super cool, but I don't know about you guys. Maybe you feel differently. I feel like they kind of downgraded him ever since. Like he had the cool ass, badass robot arm he
No,
can
I
use,
agree.
and then all of a sudden, and then in Infinity War, he's just sitting there in the battle, and he's not even using. I expected him to run around, use his arm, fuck people up. He just shoots people with an M16, and then in Endgame he does the same shit. He's just shooting people with an M16. Like I thought this guy was a super. Like, did you watch the Winter Soldier? Have you seen your own movie? That he's so cool in that, and I'm kind of disappointed that that's all they do with him.
I think what it is that they're trying to develop his character to become more as a pacifist, just due to the fact that he's been brainwashed all these years. So I think
Nigga, how's using a gun make you a pacifist?
No, listen, dude. Listen, I think what the angle that they're trying to spin for him is look at him going to Wakanda. Like they're trying to make him this peaceful guy because he's so sick and tired of all the fighting, which is why at the end of Endgame he was just kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna get the shield. I don't want it for X, Y, and Z. But no, I do agree. Like, I do think some of the moments between him and Sam are a little kind of sucky, especially their little banter back and forth in Civil War. I wasn't really a fan of the jokes between them two. But I think if they shot it in a way that wasn't like jokey Mr. Joke Man every 5 minutes, and it was like a really cool like covert ops thing where Sam was Captain America flying in with the shield, fucking people up, and Winter Soldier was there to help him out. I think it could be a really strong series.
If it was
So
that,
that's just
yeah,
my opinion.
definitely.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's my hope for it.
yeah, I can definitely be missed with all that. Like I'm good with Winter Soldier. I fuck with him, but I definitely don't fuck with Cap. With new Cap Falcon. I can't do it. Especially after
Falcon
watching that
by
Black Mirror
himself
episode.
sucks.
Especially after watching that Black Mirror episode. Yeah, homie,
Dude, let this
you
shit
need to
go.
put this shield down. Nah, nigga, he got to put it away.
Put the shield
He
down.
can't shield.
You give it back.
Yeah, we don't want you, bro. We don't.
Um, the Black Widow, apparently Taskmaster is supposed to be the main villain in that movie, so that'll be cool to see because we never really seen Taskmaster on the silver screen. Hawkeye, again, you guys know that I think Hawkeye is definitely an underrated character, so I think it'll be cool to see him get his own shit done. Apparently, he's supposed to be passing his mantle on to Kate Bishop. Don't really know too much about that, but I think she's just supposed to be like his apprentice, and he passes on the bow to her and shit like that.
I think it's gonna suck.
The I think the What If series is going to be dope. I heard like one of the episodes is supposed to be instead of Steve Rogers taking the Super Soldier Serum, it was supposed to be Sharon or Peggy, whatever the fuck her name is. So I think that'll be
Peggy
cool to
Carter.
watch.
I don't know about that one either.
The
Well,
What
no,
If series,
what if would be actually no. What if would be cool? I don't know about the fuck
the
Hawkeye
Hawkeye.
series. Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't sound like anything interesting. I do like
I can
Jeremy
see
Renner.
why it's not appealing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I like Jeremy
Nah,
Renner, but I don't know if I
yeah,
could. I don't know.
I fucks with Jeremy Renner, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Where him taking an apprentice might not really be the most appealing thing.
Yeah,
I mean, the Eternals sounds like it'll be cool. I've always been a fan
hell
of like
yeah.
the cosmic stuff. I've never read the Eternals. God, I can't fucking talk. But Christian, it's
The
on
Internals.
Comixology Unlimited. The Eternals, yeah, I can't talk.
Hey.
It's on
No, no,
Comixology, so we need to read the Eternals before it comes out. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know it's cosmic and all that bullshit. So I think it'll be cool to watch because it'll be away from all the normal like superhero shit that we've been getting.
yeah,
Shang-Chi,
kind of.
Oh, go ahead, Christian.
Oh no, I was just gonna say really quick. Like, you guys probably agree with this, but I think it's really cool how ever since like all this main story has come and gone, it seems like they're pretty much open to give us like really interesting and unique stories, even if it's weird. Just like after all this cosmic shit happened, now they can do weird stuff. Like I know Thor: Love and Thunder sounds odd, but I think it's kind of interesting that they're doing something like that. Now we're getting some weird fucking multiverse with Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Like it's kind of weird to think about that. These are the kind of stories they're doing now. When you think about like 2008, it was just Iron Man. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm happy with the MCU right now, even though I'm not interested to see every single one. At least they're trying to branch out and do something different.
No, I agree. I mean, it's kind of like, in a way, DC is doing the same thing, but they're just not doing it the right way. They're just doing random shit that like no one cares about, which is like the
I mean,
fucked
we'll
up part.
see. It could be great, but it just seems very like unplanned. Like let's just throw a dart and see where it lands on. Oh, we'll do this.
That's literally what it sounds like they're doing. Like they have like a dartboard up in their office. They have random characters that they want to do adapters on, and whatever it lands on, that's what they pick. But I digress. Anyway, I think the multiverse of madness is going to be their way of introducing like the Fox characters. That's my theory on it. I don't know about the rest of you guys though.
I don't know about multiverse per se. I think they will bring in. I mean, it's not even think they are going to bring in the Fantastic Four and X-Men. Obviously, I don't know if it'll be multiverse. I think they're going to find a way to make it work in this one, but it's a possibility. I could see
The
that
Snap.
happening. Maybe they snap.
I feel like it's gonna do Snap.
You think it's yeah? I mean, there was lots of like fan theories talking about how the Snap ripped a hole in our dimension and then brought other characters from other fucking realities. But
Well, I don't think it's doing that.
Thing.
I don't think it's doing that, but I
think
just
it's
think
doing
the
explain
Snap,
yourself.
That's what I was getting to. But I just feel like the Snap is creating like so much radiation or whatever that it'll give birth to mutants. I feel like the Snap is how mutants are now here.
So you're saying because of all the stuff that's been unchecked the last 5 years between Endgame and Infinity War, you think that's what's going to cause mutants to be born?
I think that's what's creating them. That's what's going to create the mutant gene. So all of that stuff, all the after effect is just like people being, I guess you can call it infected or whatever. And yeah, and I think that's what will bring in the mutant gene to the whole MCU.
It's actually kind of a cool theory. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. So what else would be cool is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think it's really cool that at least as it would appear at the end of Endgame, that Thor will be joining the crew and be a part of Galaxy 3, which makes ultimate sense because otherwise, like with Black Adam, oh my god, with Adam Warlock being introduced, it makes sense because obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy aren't strong enough to take them on by themselves. So having Thor, it makes sense for that fight.
I agree. I didn't know that Thor is he confirmed to be in Guardians 3, or is that just sort of like a rumor or something?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty much heavily implied with the ending of the movie.
I don't know,
Yeah,
because
based on
MCU,
Endgame, it looks like it is for sure. I mean, maybe that was just like something like a fun little gag they were going at, but I could see that being what they were trying to say.
I mean,
I
sure,
will
but it
say
also would make it would also make perfect sense considering that Adam. I mean, I don't know how much you guys know Adam Warlock, but he's way too
I
strong
know zero
for any of
shit
the.
about Adam Warlock.
Okay, yeah, it's not a fair fight in the slightest if he's just fighting them, especially since Quill is supposed to have his celestial powers with them taking out his pops and all that. So Thor it would be the perfect person for them to have with them.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I will say that Thor and Star Lord do have good chemistry on screen, so I think that'll be pretty dope to see. Um,
What
what
did you
was the
guys
other?
think about their comedy together? Like, you know, how they have their trying to upstage each other when it comes to like who's captain. Do you think that was corny, or did that actually work for their characters for you guys?
I thought it was funny in Infinity War. I thought it was a little dragged out in Endgame. I'll say that.
Same. My thoughts exactly. Yeah. What about you, Vernon?
I feel like it works though because that's just I mean that's kind of who the characters are. Thor is this. I mean he's a good guy obviously, but like he's kind of a like I'm all powerful. Not a know it all, but like I'm stronger than all, bigger than all type vibe about him. And Quill, I mean we all know Quill, he's a dickhead, so like it makes sense. I can see the feeling of it being dragged on, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's out of character or anything. I think it's just a little on the nose in Endgame. It's like, oh, you turn my screen, but I'm in charge. Oh, it was just a little too much at that point. But maybe it's because we saw it in Infinity War. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe I will. If I see it a couple more times, I'll get used to it. But yeah,
Endgame's coming out on home release in a couple of weeks, so I'll have to definitely rewatch it. There's a
yeah,
couple other things that we didn't talk about. Loki, not really looking forward to that. Never really understood why everybody deep throated Loki as much as they did, like when he was around. So I mean, I'm not really looking
what
forward to that.
what do you guys think about the Shang-Chi? You know anything about that?
Don't know jack shit about that. And I know that he
Not a
is an
goddamn thing.
extension of Iron Fist, I think, but that's
Okay,
really all I know. And what was the other one? Wanda. Did we talk about Wanda Vision?
WandaVision.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay. I mean,
So is
is
he
it
coming
really
back, or is
something?
this like a prequel?
Nah, this is in the past, obviously. That nigga's
Okay.
dead, the fuck.
Well, I don't know. I was thinking they were gonna check it out and bring him back for some reason.
Homie took that stone out of his
Hell no.
forehead like ripping a sticker off a wall. Like, come on.
Big facts.
Take
Hey,
it back.
speaking of the big homie, how about Eternals though? Hey, my boy Thanos gonna be making a comeback on the screen. I know it's past tense or whatever,
They
but
said
I
they
fuck
said
with him.
possibly. I mean,
That
I
means
don't really
yes.
know.
That means yes.
I don't really
You
even
can't
know
tell the
what it's going to be
Eternals.
about.
You cannot tell
Does
the
it really
Eternals
mean yes
story
though?
without mentioning Thanos. Like you can't.
I haven't
How
read
do
the
you know that?
Eternals, so I mean, it'll be nice to see when I read it. But I mean, you want to elaborate on it, Vernon?
Yeah, tell us, enlighten us.
Well, I'm just saying, like the nigga himself is the half. So, like,
Half
I
what?
don't understand. I don't understand. Like, well, he's half celestial, um, and he's an eternal. So I don't understand how you could tell the story and not include him in some capacity, even if it's just a little cameo. I'd be happy with it. But I don't feel like you would do that and have that character, especially since we've already seen him so much. And I don't know. I think that's another part of his backstory that could be seen.
My guess, based on everything when it comes to the movies and the TV show, I think it might be just a cameo. But even if it's just that, I think that would still be cool too. So, yeah.
No, I do. Really quick before we do talk about the last thing, which is Blade. Did you guys hear about that rumor where they said that Thanos in an Endgame was apparently supposed to go back in time, and then the last fight scene between Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America, he was supposed to be bringing them a severed head of the 2012 Captain America.
Oh, that would have been cold.
That would have been
Yeah,
cold. I know.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
I thought the same thing. That would have been so cool. And it would have been just foul and vicious. And I didn't buy it because that just seems so outlandish. I don't see Disney allowing something like that.
Yeah,
But I've seen a lot of
yeah.
articles saying that it's true. And they're saying that it's actually something that has weight. And if they did that,
They should
I'm
have.
wondering if that would. Yeah, I mean, I'm wondering if that really would have served the story more. But I can't lie, I would have loved to see that. Just
That
to
would have
see
been
that.
too
You
cold.
know?
I
Honestly,
Yeah.
I
mean,
think it
he
would
was
have served the
hard.
story.
You think so?
Yeah, because okay, so all right, so okay, in Infinity
Well,
War,
he
right?
did get his. He did get his head cut off.
Well, okay, yeah, there's that. I wouldn't even think about it like that, but yeah, there's that. So, but like Infinity War, right? So like all of Thanos' actions in Infinity War are out of he's trying to accomplish this plan because he thinks it's the right thing to do, right? That's his whole motivation, right? But
Yeah.
when we see him again in Endgame, like once he sees, oh, okay, so I succeeded, and this is how they reacted. All his actions from that point just came from like almost kind of, it was vengeful, not almost, it was vengeful. Like it was a point of anger. Like he was doing it out of anger, not out of this is the right thing. At this point, he was like, I'm gonna take this personal. I'll enjoy this, So I think doing something that vicious would have definitely served his new like demeanor.
Yeah, you're right.
See
I mean,
that?
in the movie, he does say, I'm going to shred your annoying little planet down to the very last atom. And I mean, you could just tell he was pissed off when he was hacking away at Cap's shield. Like
Well,
that
like
nigga,
that
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 nigga had
Thanos seems
enough.
like a different Thanos. Yeah, he seems
He was just
like
more unhinged than anything.
it might only be a few years, but it seems like the Infinity War Thanos seemed kind of more mature in a small way.
He was
And
more
yeah, he
humble.
pretty much yeah, he had his plan, and he didn't really just unnecessarily kill people for no reason. Well, he did, but he wasn't just doing that all the time. He kind of had like a method to what he was going for, and it depends on how he felt like at the time. But the younger Thanos did seem kind of like more about what he was doing, and once he saw that it didn't work out, he's just like, "Fuck it, I'm pretty much just gonna enjoy doing this." And I can see that being a motive for him to go back and do that. So it would have been cool. I don't see that happening, and I can understand that maybe they toyed with it and they're just like, "Nah, it's not gonna work out." But imagine if we got that scene. Probably would make
No,
maybe just make Thanos cemented as the greatest villain ever without question.
I'm just really hoping that like we get like a Doctor Doom or a King the Destroyer on screen one
nigga,
day. That
you're gonna get Doctor Doom. That's a given.
Yeah, with
You're not gonna
Fantastic
get
Four.
Yeah,
What about
Fantastic
King?
Four.
I
Yeah,
said King the Destroyer. I'm dumb. King the Conqueror. My bad. That would be dope to see him on screen too. But moving on. Last thing we need to talk about Marvel related is Blade. What's this motherfucker's name? Mahershala Ali.
personally.
Yeah, he is casted as our new Blade. I can totally see it. I think it'll be awesome as long as they kind of keep it under this, the R-rated style that they did with Wesley Snipes. I'd be
I
okay
don't know
with
if it
it.
will.
Well, I mean, the other thing is too, like with this whole Fox merger, I mean, they're leaving Deadpool alone. Like they even said that. Like, so they know where they shouldn't be touching things that they think, will be fucked up. So I think they know better than that because Disney wants to make money. So I don't think they're gonna fuck up a property like that.
Hopefully, I've kind of heard conflicting things with Deadpool. A lot of people were saying like, "Oh, we'll see how it works out," and there's a lot of rumors that that's the reason why they released Once Upon a
Once upon a
Deadpool,
time.
that
Yeah.
PG-13 Deadpool cut to see if it'll work out, and it was actually successful too. So I'm hoping that didn't send the wrong signals, like, "Oh, just make him for PG-13 for now, and everybody can
Yeah.
enjoy Deadpool."
Well,
I really hope. I hope you're right, though. I really do.
I mean, the other thing is too is like you don't have to make a character like Blade rated R to be good. Like if you tell the right story and have the right stuff happen, it could totally be
Good
pulled
work.
off
Yeah.
PG-13. Like taking a character like the Punisher, I totally don't see him being PG-13 like at all because
Nah.
Frank Castle is just a whole nother like animal. But Blade could potentially work. I mean, it's just vampires. You could totally just make them disintegrate and turn to ash, and you don't need like buckets of gore to make it work. But
I think they can work with that. I think they can get away with a good amount, even if it's PG-13 when it comes to vampires. So, it's not like a sentence of death right away. But if they do try to touch a very rated R property like Punisher, in my opinion, Deadpool 2, I really don't think it'll work the same. But
I don't
I
think
guess we'll see.
Vernon. Did you ever see Once Upon a Deadpool? I didn't see it. No
I
point.
no, I
saw it
didn't
too.
bother seeing it.
Yeah,
Didn't have
there's
the
no
rating,
point.
so I didn't want to see it.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, how
I
do
did
you?
see it. I wanted to check it out because she loves Deadpool too. I love it too, but she watches that movie like once a week. It's kind of ridiculous. And she is a fan of the Princess Bride movie, and actually saw my that's actually a pretty good movie. Fred Savage was in it, and I actually like the Fred Savage scenes. They actually were kind of interesting, probably because it was the only thing that was new about the movie. And even though it wasn't PG-13, they kind of make fun of the fact that it was edited to be PG-13. But after a while, it just becomes like, oh, we're making fun of ourselves. So because we're just poking fun of ourselves, that excuses the fact that this is what you're getting. Like it doesn't really. Like you can say I suck as much as you want. At the end of the day, the movie still sucks. And it was, dude, it was so bad. When you guys actually, if you guys ever check it, like a lot of the funny parts that you liked, and even when it comes down to the action, they had to cut out certain parts of the action scenes because they were too brutal. And it's such a jarring product when you actually see the whole thing. So I don't like it at all. I'm glad we didn't watch it and by paying for it, but yeah, I really I hope that it's not something that will send the wrong messages.
Yeah, it's definitely
I don't think
fair.
they'll touch
Yeah,
it.
I mean, I hope not. Like I said, I really hope that they're smarter than that, and that goes to the whole James Gunn situation. Like they acted like they fired this dude, and then they all of a sudden rehired him. 4 or 5 months later because they didn't want to hear people's backlash about his
Exactly.
stupid
Yeah.
old tweets. So I
And
don't
this is
even think that
Disney.
dude was fired. Yeah, this is Disney, so I think they're smart. I don't think they'll fuck it up. I think that pretty much concludes our movie discussion or the other stuff that we had talked about. Last segment, me and Christian did a well, what would you say? Pretty much a moral segment.
Yeah, it
We
was
talked
kind of
about
weird because we
how,
go from movies and then we start going off about people who talk about fake humbleness and things like that. So I
yeah,
guess
we
we'll
we talked
go
about
into
fake
just a jarring
humility.
cut. Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of going to be our moral segment. And basically, I'm gonna start it off with this. Have you guys ever not talked? You haven't talked to somebody in like, I don't know, say more than 3, 4, 5 months at a time, maybe a year or two, and then all of a sudden they hit you up out of nowhere. They fake conversation, and you're like, okay, where is this coming from? Because I haven't talked to this person in forever, and all of a sudden they're asking you for money. How does that make you guys feel?
Oh man. Well, I mean, the thing about asking money is just on principle. If we try to break this down by itself, it's not really such a bad thing when you think about it. Everybody has things. I know we've all had our fair share of problem, except Vernon because he has stacks. But besides
Oh
Vernon, we
yeah.
probably have all had our fair share where we have times we have times we don't really have that as much money as we'd like, or we kind of have to budget a little bit better. Or we maybe have to like save a certain amount here and just not do certain things. So I get it. On principle by itself, asking money is never a bad thing by itself. I think the thing that makes it into
Asking
a different
money.
kind of oh, wait, is that what I said? Oh
He
shit.
said asking money. What question do you have for money, Christian?
Yeah, yeah, okay. So if you're asking for money, fucking grammar Nazi over here. Yeah. By itself is not so bad. I think what kind of makes it into something else is when it comes to you reaching out to someone that you pretty much have just drifted apart from, and you kind of want to see if you can rekindle some kind of connection there. And it just turns out that the whole point of that conversation, you either go about it two ways. You could just go up front and be like, "Hey, I'm hurting here. Can I borrow some money?" Or two, "Hey, how's it going? How's your life going? How's your job going? How's your family? Oh, that's good. Oh man, everything's going great too." You keep that up for going a few hours, a few days, maybe even a few weeks. Who knows? And then the end goal is just, so can I borrow some money? I think that's kind of where the big issue comes from, and I think Jordan could talk from experience a couple times there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and give a personal story. I'm not gonna drop names or whatever, but I had this guy, a friend. Haven't talked to him probably in
Pause.
like, of course, I haven't talked to this dude in like, I want to say like 5 years. It had to be about like 5 or 6 years. Homie hits me up out of nowhere. Pretty much gives me the whole spiel of, "Hey man, how's your life? How's your kids? Et cetera." Then he goes like a day or two without responding to me. Actually, he says, "Can I ask you a favor?" And I remember telling Christian, like, "Hey, dude, watch this guy ask me for money. Just watch." And like, I got so because it was just so funny to me because I knew he was gonna ask me for money. I got like, it was funny to me, so I messaged him like twice in a row. I was like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" And I waited like a day. Dude didn't respond to me. "Hey, man, what's the favor?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, can I have $40?" I'm just like, man, I really appreciate you hitting me up, faking conversation like that, just to try to squeeze money out of me. I mean, to be honest, it's a scumbag thing to do. Like I would rather just have somebody ask me for money straight up rather than fake a lame ass conversation with me to think that's gonna trick me into giving the money. I'm like, dude, I don't
Would you
even have
really
money.
though?
Yeah, just ask me for the money, man.
If
I'm
you'd
gonna
rather
tell you
just
Nah,
no
someone
yeah,
anyway.
message you out of
same,
nowhere and
I'm
be
gonna
same.
tell
like,
you
"Hey,
no anyway.
Yeah, I would respect
tell
it.
you no."
It'd still be a no, but I'd respect it a whole lot more if it was just straight up.
Of course,
Really?
no. Like
So,
that's my issue.
because when I think about their point of view, I think that they're trying to make you feel like they're not just being jerks asking for money right off the bat, and they want to at least pretend like they're interested in your lives. So you both are pretty much saying, like Vernon, for you example, let's say someone just messaged you out of the blue for a long, out of not talking to you for a long ass time, and they just want to see how you're doing. Everything's cool. You're not really falling for it. You'd rather at least not them put any effort and just say, "Hey, can I borrow money?"
No, I'd rather just like straight up, like your very first motherfucking message should just be, "Hey, bro, like I hate to ask this, blah blah blah, but I'm really going through it, yada yada yada. Do you mind if I can hold this?" Rather than fucking like Steve was saying, having a long ass fake ass conversation where you're not really giving a fuck, you're just trying to butter a nigga up.
Draw it out for
Like,
six
nah,
fucking days, and then you just
yeah,
finally
like fuck
ask
all
me,
that.
like, why waste my fucking time, man? Like, fuck out of
Right,
here.
and your time because apparently
Now,
you need the money. So what?
oh, exactly. And the funny thing is, like, I was like, hey, man, because he told me he was going through some kind of like legal issues with his job. I was like, I can give you some job offerings. Like, I know some places that are hiring. He was like, no, I don't need that. Well, like, clearly you do because you're in the legal shit field with your fucking employer. So obviously you
Yeah.
need to find somewhere else to work, homie. Like, that's just how it is. Now, elaborating off of this subject, I know that we all pretty much agree that, hey, if I don't know you, just ask me for the fucking money. I'm gonna still tell you no anyway, but I'm at least respect the fact that you asked me. This asshole friend of ours, been friends with this dude for the last like 10 years. Basically, haven't seen this dude
Oh,
since
longer, yeah.
2015. Haven't seen this dude since 2015. Basically disappears off the face of the earth, goes into the military, gets married, basically has, I think, like two stepchildren, and he basically a stepbrother because the kid is like 17 years old. He's 25. And he acts like it's a chore to talk to us, right? Like now, all three of us. How long have we all actively been friends for?
What was it, from like seventh, eighth grade?
Yeah, so what? This is dating back to what? 11, 12 years ago? We've all
Yeah.
pretty much been friends
At
at this
least, at
point in our
least seventh
lives.
grade. So yeah, 10 years ago, right? Even more,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
No,
At
that's
least
12
11, I'd
years.
say. I'd say at least
Yeah,
11.
11, 12 years we've all been friends, right? This motherfucker acts like it's a chore to talk to us. And you know, the funny thing is, before I get to the whole punchline of the story, is that he randomly hit us up, what, like 2 years ago? And he's like, hey guys, I'm in Maricopa when we hanging out. We're all married. I got a fucking kid. Well, me and Christian are married. I got a fucking kid. Aaron's married. You know, we all got jobs. And this dude just expects us to go and drop everything just to go and hang out. Like,
The funny thing
bro,
about
you
that
could have.
too, yeah, he didn't even like. The funny thing too is he didn't even tell us
There was
when he
no
was
heads
heading
up.
out or anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
there
was
was
about to
no
leave
heads
on a
up.
plane like that night or like the next morning. It's like, hey, do you guys want to hang out? Like, we're doing shit, dude. The fuck?
Like, dude, I got work, man. Like, I got a family. Like, the fuck? Like, so anyway, we don't hear anything else from him for like the next 2 years, right? Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, about a month ago, dude just says, well, I'm actually gonna pull up the messages if I can, because honestly, it's not that far back at all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on,
Send that to me while
hold on.
you're
I'm
at
gonna pull this. It's not that far back. There's no way it could be that far
What an
back.
asshole.
All right, so this dude basically just hits us up out of nowhere. He's like, "Hey guys, can I borrow $40?" It's like out of nowhere. Like, oh okay, like
No,
you
no,
don't
no,
even
come
want
on,
to
come
talk
on.
to us.
You gotta start with what he said. His actual words were, "Can you guys help a nigga out?"
Oh, yeah. That part got cut off for me. But yeah, he basically was like, hey, can y'all help a nigga out? And I was like, what is it, Joe? And I knew it was money, like right up front. I knew he was gonna ask for money. He's like, can I borrow $40 till Friday? Is that what he said? Or did he say it till Thursday?
Thursday. It was Thursday. He was,
Yeah, it was
yeah, it was like,
Thursday.
"Can you help a nigga out?" Oh, just till Thursday.
He's like, just till Thursday. And I'm like, wow, Joe. He's like, you don't talk to us for 2 years and the first thing you ask for is money. How convenient. And then Aaron was the only person that helped him out. And he's like, I'll just send it to you here on Facebook, through PayPal or through Facebook Messenger. He's like, no, it's got to be through Walmart MoneyGram. He's like, I need
I
it
ain't
through
never heard that
Walmart
shit.
MoneyGram.
I ain't never heard that
And
shit to that moment.
then he sends us a screenshot of his finances. And this dude's like overdrawn. And I hate to be a dick to laugh at overdrawn accounts because my account gets overdrawn every so often.
Yeah, I've been there.
But, and I'm not even going to give numbers, but I
It was
mean,
up there.
I'll just say I'll say it was below $1,000 that he was overdrafted. I'll just say that.
It was up there. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's just say that it was pretty much up there. And it just honestly makes me disappointed because we've known this dude longer, and the fact that he acts like it's a chore to talk to us. That's just kind of what makes it hurt more, you know? Like, oh, fine.
Yeah.
I guess I'll be fucking responsive in the group chat. Like, fuck, man. I guess.
Well, that's
Jesus, fuck.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing because what happened was when he asked for the money, someone was able to help him out. And obviously, we have a gracious friend. We all of us, we either didn't respond or just didn't give him the money. And
I
one of
was
them were
telling you
able
no.
to. Yeah.
He didn't want to get no
And
money
then
from me.
Jordan, you kept pointing out how you're like, oh, it's nice how you want to talk to us now. And then he just messaged back, I'll be more responsive in the group chat. Like, oh shit, my bad, man. It's not like you're asking the group chat for money or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh fuck, I guess I'll be more responsive. Man,
So
fuck
annoyed.
it, Jesus, so annoying that I gotta talk to you guys. You know, I'm perfectly okay if I don't ever see this dude ever again. Like, he doesn't even congratulate Christian on having a kid or being married, or congratulates me on my kids or anything. Like, nah, this dude just says, "Hey guys, can I have $40?"
And
Like,
congratulate
okay.
me on my size.
Pause. Moral of the story is, if you're gonna ask for money, just fucking ask for it, and don't beat around the bush. And if you've been friends with somebody longer than 3, 4, 5 years, at least talk to him on a regular basis before you ask for money. Don't fucking go MIA and then randomly ask for money, because that's one step to fucking be a clown on for the rest of your life. And
Yeah, I
I'm
was gonna say
telling
if you
y'all,
do
like,
that.
I'm not letting that shit go. I'm gonna keep clowning that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if you ever want to ask someone for money, just ask someone who's nice and gracious and is not gonna clown on you forever. Because you've asked someone like Jordan, he'll never let that shit go. He'll clown on you every single day
Hell no.
of your life.
And the bugs crawling out his nappy ass head.
Vernon, tell the story. Tell the story. You gotta tell the story.
Oh shit! This is
Tell
going
the
on
story.
bloopers.
So we was,
Nah, let it stay in. Let it stay in.
wait, talk about Christian. I forgot. Did you see that shit first, or did I see
No,
it
I
first?
was the one who was sitting behind you, and then I pointed it to you, and you saw it crawling back up. So,
shit jumped off his shoulder. Nigga. That shit was nasty. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
I was sitting behind Joe. So I don't know how he didn't notice this. He was in the desk in front of me, and he was listening to a lecture, whatever the fuck was going on, and then I look up and I see this black bug. It was like a bigger black bug too, not like humongous, not like a huge ass cockroach, but just picture
Just like
like a
noticeable.
yeah, it's like a fly, but like a bigger fly, and it was like
Fly.
crawling. Yeah, it was like the size of a fly, and it was like crawling out, and all of a sudden, like I'm looking at his hair, and you see it come out of his hair, and it starts crawling down his neck, and it goes over to his shoulder. And then all of a sudden, it like stays there on his shoulder, and I like look at Vernon because he sits next to me. So I start tapping Vernon. I'm like, dude, look. And then he like looks over, and then this thing starts crawling back up his shoulder. It goes up his neck, and then it went back up his hair. And this dude, he was none the wiser. He had no idea that happened. And me and Vernon looked at each other, like, what the fuck? And we started cracking up. Like,
Oh, dirty
what
ass
happened?
nigga.
And see, this happened back in 2011, 7 years ago. So that goes to show we've all been friends for quite a while, and just fucking go MIA and just hey guys, can I have some money? Just goes to show that we're his fucking bank is what we are. We are his financial institution is what we are.
And you know what? But before anybody gets mad and be like, "You guys are a bunch of assholes," whatever, we all clown on each other. That was the big thing of our group. Nobody's safe. We all had things that we made fun of each other about. The reason why we're making fun of Joe more now is because of what's happened, and he hasn't talked to us in years. So it's just how it works out in here. But
We don't.
I hope that nigga uses every bit of that
ass.
$40 on some Head and Shoulders.
And I hope he's buying some pants that don't fucking, when he stands up, go past his fucking shins. I hope he's getting better haircuts too, and getting his eyebrows waxed because unibrow ain't cutting it.
you guys remember the haircut that he had? No, sorry. Go on. I'll bring that up later. What were you going to say?
No, dude. The fucking haircut that he had, his dad. Dude, come here.
Oh, that nigga's hairline was fucked.
My dad's friend.
That nigga's hairline was
he had
fucked.
like an actual haircut, and then like the fucking God, I can't even like describe it. The cut went all the way to the right. Like it wasn't even. Like it was like,
How would you say it? Like, he was getting a lineup
it was
on
like a
top or
slant.
something, and it went too far?
Nah, it was fucking tape. Like the taper was all fucked up. That shit kept going way.
Yeah.
That shit kept going way too far.
Like,
It cut into his fade. Like it was like, what the fuck happened?
he thought we weren't gonna notice it either. Like, come on, dude.
Like, how you come to school like that? I would have been in a hat. I would have been in a hoodie. I would have been in like a ski mask.
hell yeah.
Nigga. You're not seeing
Ski
me.
mask.
You're not gonna see my head, nigga. No way. Not like that.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, but what were you saying, Jordan, about like how we all make fun of each other?
No, I was saying like we don't believe in the kiss ass of friendships. Like that's just fucking boring. So yeah, we pretty much clown each other for stuff. Like you said, nobody's safe. But if you fuck up and do something that's stupider than out of your normal realm of stupidity, then you're definitely getting clowned longer. Okay, Vernon. You're definitely getting clowned longer than you should, and that's to be deserved and expected because this is how we roll around here.
The risk you take.
Exactly.
Factual.
But I think that actually closes out our show for tonight. Was there anything else that we wanted to address before we kind of just close it out? Anything else?
You know what I'm
missed?
saying? If you don't already, you can go ahead and follow your boy on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? It's at vtrey. That's TREY3. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for the IG. And if you wanted to go to Snap, that's V3FLFB. You know, it'd be up though.
What does the FLFB stand for, Vernon?
Yeah, tell us.
What does FLFB stand for? My mind, I forgot.
Well,
Fan of
as you can see,
abbreviations.
ladies and gentlemen, this motherfucker is bullshitting because he knows diggity damn well exactly what it means. For
For
the
loving
record,
for basketball,
it is
right?
exactly. Not a letter
He's so
different.
full of shit. He's so full of shit. Yeah, for loving for basketball. That's exactly what the fuck it stands for. Okay.
Always 100.
Facts.
Full of shit.
And what about you, Jordan? What about handles?
Definitely no
Nigga ain't got no
handles for
handles.
me.
Nigga ain't got no handles. Can't dribble the ball.
I ain't trying to
You
push
got no
nothing.
J. Shut up.
You ain't got no J. You can't no jump shot, bro.
Facts. Niggas broke.
Yeah, nothing for me. What about you, Christian?
Nah, that's it. I mean, if you want to follow me, you can, but we don't really use Twitter that much anyway, so it's all good. But the point is, we will be putting out more shit, and if Vernon feels like being on here, he can.
But
so,
anyway, what I was just gonna say, Vernon is technically our unofficial third member if he decides to stop fucking around when he's supposed to. And you can eat a dick, Vernon, because I think our name is pretty much settled on back to formula. Like, you have no say in this anymore.
Fuck, I didn't say anything about it since we first tried to record.
Fuck you, because you said it sucked. You said that you didn't like it.
That was before we first tried to record. Which I still don't like it. It still sucked,
Nope.
but that's fine.
You suck. How about that? Your fucking schedule sucks. Oh, and by the way,
So
what I'd like
anyway,
to tell you real quick. What I'd like to tell you real quick before we close out, it's not my job to remember your fucking schedule, okay? You sit there and you say, how many times do I have to fucking tell you when I'm available? That's not my fucking job to understand that, okay? I don't know and I don't care. You tell us when you're able to fucking record and we record. Got it?
No, I don't understand.
You're not gonna sit there and say, how many times do I have to tell you this? You should have my schedule memorized because you're Jordan and I'm Vernon. And what Vernon does is just way more important than what you do. That's exactly how you think.
want me to record?
No.
You better fucking know my schedule.
Not at all. It's just that I clearly have stated as long as we're done by 10:30, then we're good. I said that already. So I don't think I should have to say that again.
Yeah, suck
I'm not talking about right this second. I'm talking about like, let's not talk. Pause.
All right, guys. I think. Say what the hell you were gonna say. That's so stupid before we close out.
Yeah, can I say my part? Okay. I'm still waiting to say my part.
Of course, I was waiting on you.
All right, I was about to, but Jordan's like pissed off. He has like a bunch of anger held in. Anyways. All right. No, I think that's pretty much it for now. Whatever, I think we're all good to go, and we'll see how long this goes on for. Hopefully Vernon can join us for the next one here so we can have our full lineup. But this was episode 2 of the Back to Formula podcast by unanimous decision. We'll come out with more later. And
it's not unanimous.
Yeah, it is unanimous.
It is.
And,
how is 2 out of 3 unanimous?
Shut your fucking mouth and let them close the goddamn show.
They close your mouth with these nuts in them.
The point is, stay tuned for more episodes. We'll see you later. Bye!
Bye.